Hey everybody, it's design time. Today we're going to take a look at a room in my home that I recently renovated. And I'm not so sure about the word renovated, but I guess since we did tear out some stuff and put new in, yeah, it's a renovation during isolation. Anyway, it's my daughter Ava's bathroom, which is the absolute smallest room we have. I thought I'd start with that, and it turned out to be way more work than this little room should have needed. So let's go over Ava's bathroom before. The biggest eyesore for me, one of two actually, was the countertop. Now, mind you, before I go on, everything that came in our house came in our house. We didn't pick it. The actual home builders did. So our house was basically a spec home, which we really liked at first, but it's been 15 years, so changes are due. That bathroom countertop was laminate to look a little bit like stone, and a part of that countertop was both a curse and a blessing, and that was the shelf coming off the side, peninsula if you will. While it offered more counter space for all of Ava's stuff, it was just a really dated style. So that needed to go along with the overmount porcelain sink that was showing definite signs of aging, as well as the two-handled, very low, wide faucet. The other of the two bigger projects, well, at least at that moment, there were two projects. It turned out to be three bigger projects. In that tiny bathroom was the laminate floor. It was just that rollout kind, all one piece, made to look like stone square tiles. It did not fool me. Anyway, that flooring by Ava's bathtub was starting to curl up and show the floor beneath, so that definitely needed to be changed. Anyway, above her sink was one of those giant mirrors that's basically screwed and glued to the wall. No frame, just the whole wall. Oh, and I will also go over the cost of everything because, in my opinion, everything that was done in that bathroom turned out to be pretty inexpensive. Now, we had a slab of quartz left over from when we did our kitchen, and it was a pretty big slab, big enough to make new countertops for both the downstairs 3/4 bath and for Ava's bathroom. Now, I know I mentioned that it was a very inexpensive redesign, but I am not going to add the cost of cutting and installing that slab of quartz because that was something we were going to do anyway. So let's take a look at the very first thing that I did, which was the flooring. I decided to keep the laminate that was already there and just do the peel and stick tiles over it. So I had to make sure that that existing laminate was extremely clean and completely flat. Well, it wasn't flat, it was curled up like I said before. I just took a staple gun to that curled up section, and luckily underneath was plywood, and tiling over that was very easy. Oh, let me tell you what I tiled with first. Around Christmas time, I just happened upon these 12 by 12 peel and stick tile, and what caught my eye was this black and white gothic looking tile. And when you look at a single tile, it's really not the same as seeing the actual product put together. Even though this little bathroom was probably, I want to say 15 to 18 square feet, I purchased 3 boxes of 10 of this tile. Not only was the price fantastic, but I knew that I would screw up quite a bit. So we ended up spending $30 on the tile for the bathroom floor. The first few tiles in the middle that required no cuts was super easy, but when you get around the walls, the door, the tile, the cabinet, there was a lot of measuring and cutting and remeasuring and cutting some more. And when I was down to the very last tile, it was the hardest one ever. Now, obviously the sink and the floor were the two bigger projects, but I created a third for myself, and that was Ava's shower. The shower was 6-inch square white tiles with white grout, and there was an additional stone raised tile border that went around the shower. And I decided that since we were going with the black and white theme, I would paint that stone piece black against the white tile. So I used acrylic paint to make that strip black, and I figured acrylic paint dries a lot like, well, plastic, latex. But this stone tile was extremely porous, so I had to paint it a couple of times, and it turns out some of that paint dripped into the crevices of the grout. So I decided that's what we're gonna do. At first I used a grout pen, and for the first 2 or 3 lines, I thought, great, this is gonna be so easy, but that pen did not work past tile number 2 or 3. I think the grout was a little bit too deep for that pen to reach. So after many tries and many pens, I decided that I was just going to paint the grout with the same acrylic that I painted the stone. It was super messy, but really easy to clean off those tiles. It just took time. So basically the cost of making the stone and grout black was about $2 in acrylic paint. Now man hours is a different story. That's like a million pennies. Now when we chose a sink, I bought that on Amazon. Mostly everything that I'm going to show you guys here today is on Amazon, and I will put the links down below in the description box. That new porcelain sink we chose to be undermount because the previous sink was overmount and caused about this much loss on each side and the front of counter space due to the overlap. Anyway, that sink was about $65, and the faucet, I want to say $35. And that too was a lot less space. It was just a single hole, single handle faucet. Other things I purchased for Ava's bathroom was a black pom-pom shower curtain that was under $20, a black and white bath mat that was about $12, floating shelves to replace that counter space that Ava lost. Those were about $25. And I added a couple of pictures and a black mirror that we already had. So no cost there. The first thing we had to do before starting the renovation or redecoration of this bathroom was a little bit of demo, and I left that to my husband. We had to take off that huge mirror, remove some tile, and remove the countertop. Wow! Now the lighting in Ava's bathroom is the lighting that came in every bathroom in our house, and it is that 4 bulb pointing down oval sort of strip of bad lighting. Just what a teenager needs. Or her mom. Now, if you've ever looked for bathroom lighting before, you've seen that there are so many to choose from and so different in style. So I went simple and purchased a black bar type lighting about 35 inches wide, and that allowed light to come from the bottom and the top, very bright and much more flattering. And that cost was, I want to say, under $70. Now, the cabinets underneath the sink were that orangey, honey-colored wood. I decided to just simply paint that white. And after probably 3 coats of white paint, it looked like a new vanity. I also had to seal around the bathtub and the toilet and the vanity, and I just used a white silicone sealant to do that. And I used my finger. Now, I think one day I will end up painting that bathroom a fun color to sort of complement the black and white. Maybe like an orange or an aqua, but right now it's beige. Anyway, I think we're ready now to take a look at Ava's bathroom after all that stuff was done. Now, I hope I went over everything as well as I should have. Any information that you might be looking for will be down in the description box below. If you have any questions beyond that, put them down in the comment section below, along with maybe a sentence or two on what you guys have been up to since we've been hanging out at home. I hope you guys are staying safe out there, and by staying safe, I mean staying home. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on the bathroom renovation I recently did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time on Design Time. Bye!